at this point, I'm coming from Chicago to California to full-blown fame. I didn't know how big I was in Mexico till I had people chasing me down the street. I had to sign autographs. I didn't know what an autograph was. So, then I was on huge shows like Siempre en Domingo with Raúl Velasco, which is a show that not just anybody can get on the show. And then I started becoming friends with Pablo Ruiz, Angelo, he was part of Menudo, Alejandra Guzman, Gloria Trevi. And then I started realizing, I'm like, damn, like this shit is real. Everything's going great. I'm living in this golden, beautiful world. And then my manager, all of a sudden, his wife decided that she wanted to start a project. Someone that never sang a note in her damn life. So what did her rich husband do? Hired her, one of the biggest songwriters ever, which was Omar Alfano. And all of a sudden I started seeing that my project started becoming number 2. I was a little girl, and I can tell you, even as a child, the album sucked. My manager then retaliated and said, well, my artist, Rosita, will not be signing any more terms. And that's when my career was done. And it was really hard for me because I was already used to this life, this golden life that was handed to me, and then it was taken away, just like that, snap of a finger. I'm back in the hood, I'm back in school, at this point, the little girls are, a lot of them were bullying me because I carried myself differently. I was in California for a couple of years, so my accent changed a little bit. I was talking a little bit like, I was confused. I had no clue. I'm like, well, why are we here again? And why don't we have money for food? When a few months ago I was getting chased down the street in Mexico. And none of the money that I made was ever given to me. Not one dime. My mother signed contracts with no damn lawyers. So I don't know how it happened, but I remember one day, somebody that knew somebody who was like a scout for a record label in Chicago.
You gotta lick it before we kick it.
SOS Records then became to be a huge label in the 90s, releasing Short Dick Man, You Gotta Lick It, Fat Boy. But he introduced me and he was like, but I want to do a girl group. So it's going to be 3 of you. We wanted to do like a Latin TLC. Because at that point, they were like, here's this verse. This song is called Praying for an Angel. They were like, can you sing this verse? It goes like this. Every time that I fall in love. And I'm like, they were like, sing this verse, and then she'll sing this verse. And then the other girl will sing the chorus. So I remember I started the verse, and I was like, I'm so afraid that love will never last. They cut everything, and they were like, they came back in the room and they were like, no, we're interested in her verse. We want her to do the whole song by herself. And that's what was done. I didn't know what freestyle was. With the freestyle era, which was coming to its end. I remember back then it was Rochelle, Little Susie, myself, and a few other artists that were around. But freestyle was already something that was huge in the 80s. And by the middle 90s, 94, 95, 96, even 97, there was a buzz about it, but it was already, from coming to its past, to its end. But I was fortunate enough to make it to that. I was right there. And that, again, I'm like, is this luck? Like, I come out with this one song, this is an era that was huge. Chicago, oh my God, I heard it every hour on one of the biggest stations there. They were like, okay, well, we need a second song. Oh, what's next? Like, I'm excited at this point. I'm like, what's next? I'm ready for it all. And we want to throw you out there as the next Selena, because at this point, rest in peace, Selena had passed away. So they were like, well, you're the next one. I mean, you're Latina. You have the voice. You have the look. Let's do it. But we're gonna throw this second freestyle song out, Holding On to Love. So many people loved it. Holding On to Love did well, and it was huge in the Philippines, and it even had a remix in Spain that was #1 in like a Euro version. I don't know if anyone knows this.
At the Ritz with K7. With her hit, Praying for an Angel, at the Riviera nightclub.
I was a teenager. I wanted to do pop. But then now that I'm older, I appreciate it, because I'm like, you know what? Freestyle is the reason why I'm doing these shows that I do nowadays. And not to say the freestyle fans are the most loyal fans in the world. So now that I'm older, I'm able to appreciate this. And that's what I've learned from freestyle.